These gonna be your two hitters that come from my neck of the woods. The older generation, the generation before my generation, as far as me and my homies and down, you know. This is the first generation gangsters, you know. So two legends resting in peace right now, you know, Tony Brown and Billy Trailer, you know, Billy Trailer. I think that's how you say his name. But these are your two hitters that come from, you know what I'm saying, that first generation, you know, uh, niggas that will get down with you, you know what I mean, got hands, you know. Um, and during that first generation, you know, when my brother was young, you know, like just stealing cars, going places, hanging out, you know, uh, getting into it with dudes, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, back then when my brother was a kid, you know, just him being around Fat Fred. Fat Fred was a blood. So my brother had that aura about him that he was a blood. So he kind of was getting into it with different Crips, you know what I'm saying? Youngsters, you know. So I want to say Ronnie Hotshot, Billy Trailer, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they was getting into it like that, but, you know, my brother would always come back and tell me stories where he was at that night, what happened, who was there. So this is how I'm starting to know who's out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I used to always quiz him and ask him questions. So you know, my brother would tell me stories about how the police would beat him up real bad, handcuff him, and drop him off in front of a guy named Robert Jones' house down by Cheyenne Park. You know, because Robert Jones was known to have a bunch of Hoovers hanging out in front of his house. So the police would beat him up real bad, and leave him handcuffed and throw him out the car. You know, so uh, my brother used to be like, he used to just get up, you know, start walking down the street. They didn't ever fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my brother's one of them dudes. You don't want to. If you gonna get at him, if y'all gonna beef, then we gonna beef every time I see you. And that's just how he was. And a lot of dudes don't want that issue. You know what I'm saying? That's how Psych was, Billy Trailer, Big Psych. You know, um, if you got a problem with him, he gonna come see you. You know what I'm saying? He was known to to put hands on you. You know, I remember one incident during the Martin Luther King parade when it was on Greenwood Street before it was called Gap Band Street. Before they renamed it Gap Band Street, I remember the parade was on Greenwood, but we used to always stand in front of our stepmom's house, my stepbrother's house, Brock and Hassan. So we would always sit right there on the gate, Greenwood, because it was right there, perfect spot every year, right? Next you know, we seen a whole bunch of Bloods, Clinton and Marcus, you know, original Bloods, Red Mob, uh, running, jumping fences, and ran over into our yard, into our stepbrother's yard, because you know we all know each other and stuff like that. Grew up together as kids, playing football together out on 4-6. You know, 4-6 used to be a blood hood when I was a kid. You know, you got Clinton, Marcus, you got Kareem Logan, you know, my cousin, my relative Terry Brown, you know, you got Ward Price and all them out there. So during that time, back when I was a kid, 4-6, which is neighborhood territory now, used to be a blood hood because my stepbrother stayed out there. So, you know, we all played football with Clinton and Marcus and them. You know, Big Tater stayed a couple houses down. You know what I'm saying? Big Tater, you know, OG from Hoover. But yeah, that used to be a blood hood back then, you know, because we all played football together out there. You know, my stepbrothers, Brock and Hassan, stayed out there on 4-6. So, but anyway, you know, Big Psych, uh, you know, was chasing some Bloods, and you know, so back then Bloods couldn't come on Greenwood during the parade. They had to stand somewhere else, like by Moten's or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Even the Hoovers, you know, not calling them punks or nothing, but you know, hey, they know this is you know, these little neighborhoods over, because I remember when neighborhood was only like 10 deep. Neighborhood used to be small, man, real small. You know what I'm saying? And I know because I'm fucking with these niggas. These are my homeboys, you know. I got a few partners like Nikki, you know what I'm saying? A few other dudes, you know. I met Baby Demon at Central when I transferred to Central 10th grade. So I'm knowing Baby Demon, you know, from having class with him, getting to know him, you know what I'm saying? Because this is how I'm starting to meet, you know what I'm saying, like Nico, Patrick, starting to see the neighborhoods at Central, So, uh, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, Tony Brown and Billy Trailer, you know, they'll come get you. You know what I'm saying? I remember when we moved to Osage after my eighth grade, during my eighth grade year, we moved to Osage. My mom and her boyfriend kind of, got into an argument outside. I took off walking to the store, you know what I'm saying, because I just didn't want to hear all that. So as I'm walking, this is when I meet Billy. And I'm like, okay, this the dude my brother been talking about, you know what I'm saying, they got hands, you know what I'm saying. He was like, hey man, tell your moms, man. She paid me $50. I beat her boyfriend's ass, you know what I'm saying? So we're walking both the leads, and me, him, and Ronnie Hotshot. Hotshot probably don't remember this, but and I was like, I just kept walking, man. I was just like, man, I don't even want to be around that shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, cool, this is Billy, you know what I'm saying? When my brother hit 18, he went to the penitentiary, and him and Billy was together. Billy went to the penitentiary at 18 years old too, I want to say. But they was both, far as the first generation, they was the first youngsters, first generations going to prison. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, these are the first generation, people going to prison and putting their mark down. So my brother would write me, send me pictures, and he sent me a picture of him and Billy standing together next to a lawnmower. This is in Dick Connors, but they was in the medium side, not the maximum. So they both had yard duty. So my brother would cut the grass, and him and Billy would take turns cutting the grass with the lawnmower. They both was on yard duty. So one day we went to visit him. Me, my sister, and my mother went to go visit my brother. So I said, I seen that picture you sent me. You standing next to Billy. I was like, y'all cool? He was like, well, it's different here in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? When you in here, you know what I'm saying, it's all about being black. You know what I'm saying? So, the rules are different when you locked up. It's not about, what I'm saying, what set you from and stuff like that, so kind of got to stick together, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay. I was just wondering, because I was just like, because I know y'all, you know what I'm saying, kind of used to get into it when y'all was young. He was like, oh, yeah, 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 but, we cool now. We cool now. It's like, shit, it's all about being black right about now. So then when they both got out, they was